This is a short video on certain unique course structures with some of the MAC courses, and these MAC courses would include MAC 510, 520, MAC 530, 540, and 570. And the reason that these courses have unique structures is that the Surgent CPA Review software is an integral part of these particular courses. The information contained in MAC 510, and that would be the information and assignments contained in MAC 510, is combined with the information and assignments in MAC 520. So these two courses are combined into a functional single course called MAC 510 520, which means that is a combination of all the information and assignments for MAC 510 and 520. Now, MAC 510 is a 3 credit hour course, and MAC 520 is a 3 credit hour course. That means when you complete this MAC 510 520 combined course, you will receive 3 credit hours for MAC 510 and 3 credit hours for MAC 520. Now, at times I'll get a comment from a student who says that, they see their work assignments in MAC 510 and 20 and say, that's a lot of work for a course. Well, the truth of the matter is it's not simply a course. It's actually assignments for 2 separate courses. So when you take MAC 510, 520, you are taking, in effect, 2 separate courses, but it all sits in one, in effect, course module. Now, MAC 510, when you want to register for the MAC 510 or 520 course, you can't register for one without registering for the other. So in this case, let's assume that you've decided you want to take MAC 510, therefore you also must register for MAC 520. So if you take a look at Cabrini Learn, you're going to see the courses basically configured this way. You're going to have a MAC 510 OL course and a MAC 520 OL course. Now, for all practical purposes, all the information that has been combined into this MAC 510 and 520 course will be included within the MAC 510-OL course. So all the information pertaining to MAC 510 and 520 and all the assignments is within the MAC 510 course. For all intents and purposes, you could ignore any content. As a matter of fact, there will be no content in this MAC 520 course. It'll all be conducted through MAC 510 OL. When you receive a course grade for the MAC 510 520 course, you'll receive one course grade for 510, and you'll receive the corresponding course grade. Let's say you got an A. You'll receive an A in 510 and an A in 520. So that's how this combination works. Now let's take a look at the course, overall course structure. Okay, over on the left-hand side, we can picture, in effect, Cabrini Learn. And I've set up the courses that will be impacted by this unique course structure. That would include the MAC 510, 520 combo course, so to speak, the MAC 530 course, MAC 540, and the MAC 570 course. When I click on any of these links, it'll take me to the applicable MAC course in Blackboard. Let's assume that I'm going to click on, I'm registered for MAC 540, so I click on that. That will then take me to the MAC 540 classroom. And the classroom has a number of different unique features about it. We need to talk about these at a high level first. First of all, the MAC classroom itself is accessed through Cabrini Learn Blackboard, just like we did over here. It's going to contain our class syllabus. It's also going to contain all of our class announcements. And typically when I also send out an announcement, that is sent out as an email to your individual email addresses, which is a good thing for you, but it's also can be a problem because you need to make sure that you keep your mailbox so it doesn't overflow. Student mailbox limits are set at a fairly low basis. And if a student mailbox exceeds what it can hold, it simply bounces back the information and you never see it. And I never know that you haven't gotten it. And that also pertains to any type of email that goes back and forth through the system. So the bottom line is to keep your email box as clean as you possibly can to ensure that you don't miss any important critical emails, so forth. Now, the Blackboard Classroom will also indicate basically the class tasks for a particular period of time that you need to perform, and that's going to be including viewing videos. Those videos are going to come from me and also through Surgent CPA Review. Also, within the Blackboard class, the task will also, we will be assigning the multiple choice question and task-based simulation practice sets. Also, we will be assigning exams. The Blackboard class, in this case a 540 class, then would be where we have a link to attend our live class, and that's usually at 7:15 p.m. on Monday night, and that will be utilizing Blackboard Collaborate. Also, we're going to be taking our exams within the Blackboard Classroom. That'll include our pretest, our 2 midterms, and our final. Also, if you are dealing with Mac 530, only for Mac 530, you will perform written simulations within the Blackboard Classroom. However, if you're not in 530, it does not apply. Also, you will be required to self-report your practice performance on your task-based simulations and your multiple choice questions. In order for me to grade your practice sets, you need to self-report this type of information, and that has to be reported through Blackboard. Now we'll talk a little bit more about that in a few minutes. Also, all the grades that you receive, whether it be for your practice sets your exams, will be recorded within the Blackboard Mac Classroom. You're responsible for ensuring all the grades have been recorded and recorded accurately. Now let's take a look at, now that we talked about the Blackboard Classroom, and all the items that we have just talked about are listed here again from the previous slide. Now we're going to talk about the other portion of the class, and it's called Surgent CPA Review Software. Now the Blackboard Classroom is accessed through Cabrini Learn. In other words, a sign-on, your username and password. The Surgent CPA Review Software is also accessed through a URL that should have been provided to you already with your sign-on credentials. So the Surgent CPA Review Software has a separate username and a sign-on. Now from your Surgent CPA Review Software, you're going to view assigned Surgent videos. You will also have access to what they call a Surgent Reference Manual. The Surgent Reference Manual provides technical reference to different types of subject matter within the different parts of the CPA exam. Now, I'll warn you, the word reference manual is very important here. This is not a textbook. It doesn't teach you. It provides references to different professional sources, things in general. It doesn't teach you. So if you try to utilize this as a text study books, or a study book, it's going to be a very difficult process. If you want to look up a particular singular subject area, it's quite useful. But other than that, you don't want to try to use it as a book, a study book. Also, you're going to use the Surgeon CPA review software to perform, in other words, actually perform multiple choice questions and task-based simulation assignments. So your assignments are going to be performed through the Surgeon CPA review software. Also, as a result of those assignments being performed or practiced, you're going to be able to receive surgeon session and progress performance reports that then you can utilize to compile and report on your performance in the Blackboard MAC class, right? Report on practice performance right here. Lastly, let's talk about the just summary of the Blackboard MAC class and the Surgeon CPA review software. Okay, in terms of the Blackboard MAC class itself, it's a coordinating point for all of our MAC courses, and that includes all of our assignments and the tasks that are assigned. It also includes the coordinating point for reporting our performance on our practice sets back from how we did on the Surgeon CPA review and record that information in the Blackboard assignment sections. Also, the Blackboard MAC class will include live instructions, and that's for our Monday night classes from 7:15 to 9:45, and also instructor video presentations that provide a detailed review of the subject matter. Also, we're going to have our live classes and instructor video presentations that provide more opportunities to practice CPA exam questions. And I think I've told you this a number of times before, but the key to successfully completing the CPA exam is to practice, practice, and practice simulations, your task-based simulations, and your multiple choice questions. The more you practice, the more you will improve your class grades, and the more you will improve your performance when you take the various sections of the CPA exam. Now, the CPA review software provides basically prepares students for the CPA exam. In other words, the software itself, through the videos, through the multiple choice questions, the task-based simulations, helps you prepare for the CPA exam. Now, I have students say, well, wait a minute, if you're basically instructing on how to do certain or do things in the do different assignments in the CPA exam, how is that different than the surgeon? In my case, I provide the detailed instruction, just like you would in a textbook, on different accounting subjects that you may need to recall or you may still need to master. In the case of the Surgeon CPA review, it could be the same subject area, but it provides the type of information that you need and how to practice for the exam itself. So they're two different purposes. So with that, that is the end of our presentation for this section. Thank you so much for your time.